Hafide and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Tamuning, Tuman and Harmon Municipal Planning Council regular monthly meeting. In compliance with the open government law, this notice was posted on the Government of Guam portal and the Guam Daily Post website on July 10th, 2025. This is also being live streamed on our Tamuning Mayor's Office Facebook page and the Team Tatua YouTube channel. We asked for a roll call now. Mr. Secretary?
Akimoto.
Present.
Brown. Camacho. Casil. Chopras. Guerrero. Lasisti. Lastamosa. Manabusa. Null. Perez. Bunzelon. Tidigui. Tinsai's here, Rivera's here, To's here. 9, we have 4.
Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary. And also joining us here today are our Youth Congress representatives, Siana, Nihal, and Trevin. And then also we have a member of our sister military command with the 36th Communications Squadron, Ms. Therese Murillo. And joining us with the Guam Police Department, we have former Chief Marquez. Thank you everyone for joining us. I ask that we all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and the Inner I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Kinamastakulo, Kihinasoku, Imastakulo, Kikarasono, San Masfigu, and Nasionahu, who ofrece maisizu para proteger, San Mudifendi, Ihinegi, Ecultura, Ilenguahi, I Ihanam Zenital tomorrow. Near Chaku directu Kinanasus Tata. Estu who afirma Gihilio, Biblia, Zenderahu, Ibederan Wahan. Thank you very much, everyone. And now we move on to the agenda, the approval of minutes of our June 5th, 2025 meeting. The minutes have been sent to all you members on our chat group, and also I hope that you are all able to go through it. If you have any questions, or if you'd like to make a motion for approval, this is the time.
I want to make a motion to approve the minutes of the June 5th, 2025.
There's a motion on the floor by Antonio Chopras to approve the minutes of June 5th, 2025. Second by Joaquin Guerrero. Any discussion on that motion? There being none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Does anyone oppose? No, thank you very much. Motion carries. And now we'd like to move along to our Youth Congress for their report.
Buenas and Hafide, and good evening, everyone. For our report today, our upcoming event is that we have a representative meeting to discuss our new leadership due to our leaders, which is our speakers, vice speaker, and legislative secretary, all having to step down due to them graduating from the school that they represent. And I would like to officially announce that we already drafted up the Student Shield Act of 2025. This intent of this bill is to appropriate funding for safety barriers for every school bus stop here on Guam. I am closely working with Siana and Nabel here, and of course with the Delito reps and any other reps who are interested in co-authoring this bill. I urge the support of every individual present in this room and the youth of Guam. This bill is to show that us youth representatives are ensuring one step closer to the safety of every student here on Guam by protecting them at their school bus stops. I'm going to now pass the mic to Representative Leopold to report on the beach cleanup that happened.
I would like to announce that we had a beach cleanup on July 13th at a beach here in Tamuning, and Sienna will provide the outcomes.
Yeah, so despite our best efforts to share the news of our beach cleanup, sadly only Neha and I participated.
Yeah.
But I think it's because people were off island for the summer. On the optimistic side though, we did collect 40 pounds of trash, so I'm glad we made this one. Thanks.
And on behalf of the 35th Guam Youth Congress and the Youth of Guam, we'd like to wish every single one of you and your families a happy and safe Liberation holiday. Cesar Mas.
And thank you, our youth Congress representatives, for all that you're doing. Does any MPC members have any questions for our youth Congress? Okay, thank you again, and we'll move along now to our sister military command's report. Therese?
I don't have anything to report right now, but do need volunteers, anything like that, please let us know. We have a lot of people that are always wanting to be part of the community, so please give me your contact information and I can pass that to the entire base, and hopefully you get more people out there to support you.
Oh, thank you. Does anyone have any questions for our sister command representative? Therese, is there something you can elaborate with in regards to the training that's going on and all the what we're hearing out there up in the sky and the air, fighter jets or whatever it is?
I do not have any comments, but you can always our JA office. They're the ones that will have more information on that. I would say I'm not really part of it, and I don't really state anything for that exercise. Thank you.
Okay. And then we also do have upcoming cleanups and food distribution drives that will be taking place. So we'll be reaching out to you for volunteers in regards to that. Thank you. Again, any other questions for her? Okay, there being none, along with the agenda, we'll move to the GPD precinct report. Chief?
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is James Murphy, also known as James Bond. I'm glad to be here. And anyway, on a serious note, since the last meeting, we've continued to do our best to patrol our jurisdiction with Tamuning and Tumon, and knock on wood, no serious cases to report. Other jurisdiction, we had that homicide, stabbing with domestic issue that the Central is responding to. But knock on wood, so far, Mayor, we're dealing again with this. Most of the time, we're doing removals. They become removals when they, I'm going to say homeless, go to business, private property business. We spend a lot of time removing these guys and trying our best to help out with that problem. The graffiti, criminal investigation division is playing a vital role with that, Mayor. So hopefully we have better report next time on any progress with that. And other than that, I just recommend it's the summertime and there's traffic is really increasing because of the summer. A lot of rain, and just with your family, please have to drive safely. We have a big event this Saturday, and that's the Waiters Concert. So we're expecting about 2,500 to 3,000 people. The last concert we had about 2,000 people down at Depot Park. Thanks to the Lord, we thank the Lord that believe it or not, with that amount of people, not one incident reported to the Guam police. So it was a good crowd, they enjoyed themselves, and looking forward to helping out this Saturday. And hopefully it'll be the same status, but we're prepared for it. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to visit my office. I'm right here. All right, thank you so much, Mayor. Thank you, Vice, and everybody. I'd just like to thank your staff, Mayor, for doing a good job setting up for the food, servicing the audience here today. Thank you so much. And the Youth Congress for all their hard work with the community. Thank you again.
Thank you very much for that. I also just got a message from Lieutenant Chafris, our Tamuning precinct commander. That he's gonna make his way over here.
Okay.
He's running late. But I do ask that, that the Guam Police Department, assist us with all the different, events that are happening in the community, even if it's an accident, hitting any government property, signage that's down, fencing, things like that, so that we follow up on the replacement and repairs of these things, through their insurance. But I know it always requires the case number. So, whatever is happening and whatever you guys are doing out there, please also reach out to us as well.
All right, I'll follow up them and make sure that we continue to provide you with any damaged property, government property, etc. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for our representative from Guam Police Department? Okay, there being none, we'll go ahead and move along to the Mayor and Vice Mayor's report. We'll go ahead and start with you, Vice Mayor. Anything to report? Okay, well, I'm happy to report that, we are working with a lot of our community partners out in the, the businesses here in the community, for different things. Again, there's going to be, different events happening in Tumon with, the Guam Visitors Bureau, in regards to, trying to, boost up tourism, night markets, and then, that we're also, we just had the ribbon cutting for the Bank of Hawaii. They're having their big grand opening, tomorrow. The Guam Hotel and Restaurant Association will be holding a cleanup tomorrow in Tumon as well. That's happening. I believe their meeting point is at Matapeng Beach, and we're assisting them with having our trash trailers out there. And then we do have like the Taipei Economic Council that is scheduling their cleanup for next month, August 30th. We just had a food drive, and we continue to have food commodities available for those in need. People are still welcome to come into our office, register, and sign up for these commodities. Other than that, if you have any questions, we continue to accept calls and be able to help where it's needed. So if you're seeing anything out there that needs to be addressed, please give us a call anytime. Do not hesitate. You can contact us. Anyone have any questions? No? Okay, great. Then we'll move along. Now we'll move into old business. Oh, I'm sorry. On the mayor's report, I just want to inform you, and it's not part of the agenda on the Guam Land Use Commission applications, but I just received this application yesterday. This is in regards to a tentative plan. And before we move along to the applications on the agenda, as part of my report, I just want to report that there is a tentative subdivision. This application is number 2025-43. The applicant is Blue Ocean Investment LLC, represented by Dan Swavely. They request a tentative subdivision for the construction of the Oka Villas subdivision, a fully improved subdivision with 38 single-family dwellings on tract 13402, formerly Lot 2148-3-R8, in the municipality of Tamuning, in an R2 multiple dwelling zone. This is off Camp Watkins, beside Rosie's Apartments. If you're aware of that, behind the Old Salvation Army, that area. And since we have Mr. Swavely here with us, would anyone like to hear, you have any questions about this? The reason why I received this is because this is a hybrid application that's gonna go before the hybrid board and that I will be a part of next week. So if you have any concerns, I'd like for you to also give that to me at this time so that we can have it addressed. Would you like any presentation on this from Mr. Swavely, since he's here and all of you are here? Or you want to hear about the subdivision? I mean, it's a tentative plan, but again, I believe it came up so many years ago, 3 years ago.
Just to clarify, Dan, this was approved several years back, wasn't it? So it's just this is just the presentation of the tentative plan, or what the original was presenting, 3, 4 years ago, 5 years ago?
That's right. The original was presented and approved by the Guam Land Use Commission in 2022. At that time, the developer and that consultant unfortunately let the application lapse, and so it was voided. So, big mistake. They wanted to build a subdivision, retained me to take it through again. Everything is the same except for one aspect. Originally, the subdivision should have noted that it is more than $3 million because there's 38 units. The developer is going to build 38 two-story houses on each lot. So it's multiple of tens of millions. This time it went through, we checked the 3 million and more. That triggered a hybrid commission. That's why the mayor was invited this time and not the time before. Other than that, it's exactly the same, a fully improved subdivision. Like the mayor said, a little north of Rosie's, between Rosie's and Fahrenholt, for instance. If the Land Use Commission approves it next week, then design and permitting will continue. That'll take about 8 to 9 months. Then they'll go into the infrastructure. And then after the infrastructure is approved, or they put up a bond, performance bond in the amount of 150% of the infrastructure costs, the housing will start. Yeah.
So at this time, and actually even for the foreseeable future, there's really no action required by the MPC because it's going through the hybrid commission.
That's correct. And the subdivision process has basically 2 steps. A tentative subdivision plan, which is what this is. That goes through only the Land Use Commission. Perhaps an idiosyncrasy of the zoning law. It doesn't go through any public hearings. Not in Tamuning or any of the other villages that I go through, okay? It doesn't. It just goes straight through to the Planning Commission. That's the tentative. Then after the developer puts in all the infrastructure and it is accepted by the utility agencies, then you apply for the final subdivision plan. That again goes straight to the commission, and then after that, the lots can be sold. That is the subdivision process. Yeah. Okay.
Any other questions for Mr. Swavely? Okay.
Madam Mayor, can the public ask a question? Just,
We allow.
thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dan. I really appreciate this. Since it's been a couple of years, just a couple of questions. Number one, what is the anticipated price per each of the 2-story units? Number one, will it be gated? And are the housing units considered affordable housing?
Answer to number 1. Answers number 3, about $1 million per house, so not affordable. And middle question, is it going to be gated? No.
Thank you, Mr. Swavely.
That's what the developer is looking at right now.
Thank you very much. Okay, now, any other questions? Okay, there being none, we'll go ahead and move along now to our old business. On item A, we have the Guam Land Use Commission conditional use application Number 2023-25, applicants Ross B. and Sarah Morrison for a zone change from R2 multiple dwelling zone to M1 for a proposed storage facility and equipment parking on lot 2144-1C-7-3A-R1 on Eka Road, Tamuning. This is a repeat. We did have the public hearing scheduled last year. We had it on January 9th by the Department of Land Management. Then we had the Municipal Planning Council hearings on February 8th and February 15, 2024. This is a repeat because the Land Use Commission is not going to hear it until everything is complete, and they were not able to get our live stream. We couldn't produce the live streaming of our hearings, and so we had to do it again. However, there was a resolution already given to the Department of Land Management and Land Use Commission from our council in regards to this. This resolution was whereas the regular scheduled legally noticed meeting was held on February 15 by the MPC. It was deliberated and voted, and a motion was amended by MPC Council Attorney Camacho to oppose unless Guerrero Street is the primary access. So this resolution was given, and then we did get the feedback from Mr. Swavely that they were not able to find access. But question today is, because now we're hearing that there is a property owner there that is willing to work with you in giving access from that backside of that leads out to Guerrero Drive. So we'll go ahead and allow you to say a few things on this before the MPC takes on their vote in regards to this. And then we also have, of course, all the testimonies that have come in, the notes from the past public hearings, all those that were present, and a new testimony that came in, as a repeat, but we will go ahead and have it read as well. Okay, but you
Thank you.
want everybody
This will just take a
to
couple of minutes. I want to recap.
please talk into a microphone for recording purposes.
Thank you.
This will just take a couple minutes, but I think it bears some time. So we've gone through 5 public hearings about this project. The net result of those 5 public hearings have been a few vocal, genuine, compassionate objections for reasons of too much traffic or it's not residential, all right? I get it. So now we're going to have a resolution, maybe a new resolution, because the other one, if you want to stick with it, you can, but there is no legal access. There's no option to go from Mama Street to Picanell. There's no illegal option. And that the resolution said there had to be, there isn't, so I guess that means you're still against it. I get that. So here's how I think this is going to play out. Whatever you decide about a new resolution, or maybe you readopt the old one, you're going to go to the Guam Land Use Commission, okay? And the situation is this. I'm going to pitch it to the Guam Land Use Commission, the way we've discussed it, all right? And then there's going to be public testimony on both sides, right? And your resolution will probably be an objection, all right? My takeaway is that the Guam Land Use Commission is probably going to side by the resolution because it's persuasive. There's genuine, I get it. That's what public hearings are all about, to bring this stuff out, right? I always say I never finish the public
I never finished an application with exactly the same thing that I started with, okay? So this will be the same. If, in fact, the Guam Land Use Commission denies the application, okay, then the Morrisons will start building apartments there. It's already approved, and it has a height variance. It's already approved for 64 units. We have a master plan, frankly, for them. 3 phases, I don't know, 20 or so each phase, right? And we'll just put apartments there. That's the fallback, yeah? Now, there is this. If the council would agree to keep 1/3 of the property for the self-storage facility, yeah, we will withdraw the request for the other 2/3 as M1. That's just something I'm throwing out right now. This was just approved hours ago, right? It's a compromise. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't work, but either way, there will be residential there on 2/3 of the property on this new proposal. And then there'll be this smaller area for the same self-storage facility, which requires M1, okay? So instead of having the whole part M1, just a little part and only self-storage and only the conditions on self-storage, which this council itself said, such as you can't have a business there, you know, and we're gonna increase the buffer around it and those sort of things, right? All those conditions would apply. So that's where we stand now. Up to you. I can answer questions if you want. And either way, it's gonna end up before the commission in a month or so. Thank you.
Any council members have any questions for Mr. Sweetly?
So your compromise proposal, for lack of a better term, is that something that's ad hoc now, or have you discussed it with the Morrisons earlier?
I'm sorry, is it what?
When you said it was approved, because you said you're just throwing it out now, are you talking about like right now, or?
It was approved by the applicant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they saying a limit on the size of the self-storage within the M1?
Same as before. You know, it's not a big one, 98 units or something like that.
Okay, but there's the square footage.
Same thing.
Okay, because the number of the units can change because those are internal TIs, right? It's not a
Yeah,
permanent internal wall.
Yeah, the land use commission is not going to send an inspector out to make sure we got 25
Right.
5x10s, this and
But
that.
the external dimensions, the perimeter is
Yeah,
fixed.
that's right.
So those are fixed.
Footprint will be.
Yeah, the footprint is fixed.
Yeah.
What was that footprint? What's the size of that footprint? Roughly.
Well, there it is. Is it dimension? Square feet?
10,000?
Ground floor, 10,000. Second floor, 10,000. Some gross building area, 26.
So you're not reducing that, or is that?
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. What we would reduce is the rest of 2/3 of the property would remain RG and be developed as apartments. You know, there were 2 things, as I recall, this council, or at least the public and the council objected to. Number 1, additional traffic, right? Okay. Number 2, turning that area into something other than residential. Okay. The fact of the matter is, you can't have both. You can't have residential and less traffic. This, according to Public Works, will generate 34 vehicles per day. That comes from a reference that we've always used, and blah, 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 that's the number, okay? 64 units, again, from the same reference, almost 400 vehicles a day. So you can't have residential with no traffic. So what I'm suggesting is, give us self-storage, we'll work on that. That's gonna take a while before we can get going on the residential. Hey, maybe e-cargo will be fixed by then. I don't know, no promises on my part. I can get no straight answers about that. It's just a compromise.
And this compromise would still involve Guerrero Drive
Still,
as a primary access. This compromise would still involve Guerrero Drive as a primary access.
no, We can't get to Guerrero Drive.
Okay, so you.
The compromise is still,
Still on this.
it's still, no, EPOW.
Oh, EPOP.
This goes, see that at the bottom there?
Yeah.
That goes directly out to EPOW. That is property that the applicant owns. That's not an easement.
Okay.
That's owned. So it's still out. So those 34 cars per day, give or take, would still use EPOW to come in and use EPOW to go out.
Okay, any other discussions or questions for Dan Swayze? There being none, I did receive a testimony from Ms. Jackie Maratti, and she's here present with us. Would you like to come on up and read your testimony?
Good evening, honorable members of the MPC and members of the Tatuho community. My name is Jackie Maratti, and we have lived in that general area for 70 years. What I had submitted as requested the second time around was really an update of what's happening in the area. As you all know, EPOW Road has now been completed, but only phase one of that area. The traffic has grown exponentially. Moreover, we understand that phase two is expected to start next year. How long that's going to take, we don't know, but it will certainly add to the congestion, both on Marine Corps Drive as well as in Santa Torres. What has recently been erected is a fence by SDA Clinic around the general area of the clinic, as well as going up Halting Loop. And that has seemed to be adding to some added congestion as people kind of get used to negotiating the general area. But that's kind of the update that's been happening in the EPOW Road area. For sure, there will be more congestion as phase two moves along for the expansion and the renovation of EPOW Road. So we expect that's going to add to it. What I'd like to add is also what I added in the testimony is a couple of things. First of all, the Morrisons, I'm sorry, Dan, are they here?
Not tonight.
Not tonight. They weren't here the last hearing as well. And these are the owner of the property. And I think it's very important that we have their presence and for them to show us what they're interested in doing and how they're adding to the community. I think that the area right now, I know the area right now, is currently being used to stage heavy equipment. If you've ever driven past there, I drove down past there today, and there's still some trucks and heavy equipment in the back of the area. So they're already using the area as M1, even though the zone has not been changed, number one. The added thing is that Morico is now owned and has been owned now by Atkins Grove, which is owned by one of the largest regional corporations in Cape in the general area. And so my sense is that, or our sense is that, when you purchase Morico, you should have known what kind of limitations and restrictions you had. And certainly, this company is large. They have the resources to get almost any other area that they could use to stage heavy equipment and such. So why this area? I think what we've also seen is, as Dan has said, it is an area that's dominated by single families and lots of apartments. So even the addition of 34 cars, which I'm sure now is going to be on top of the added traffic that we're seeing as a result of EPOW Road, is going to be even more congested. We have in the general area 3 childcare facilities. So every morning and every late in the afternoon, you see pickups and drop-offs of small children.
And in that general area, that's a lot of traffic and it's a lot of added risk that we bring to our families. Finally, I think the really important thing is this, as we've said before, is another example of what we're calling zone creep. You know, you start with one, you add a little bit here, then you do a little compromise there, and before you know it, the whole area is commercial. That changes the whole flavor of what the E-Power Road community has been. We have clinics, we have childcare facilities, we have stores, we have bars. We've even had, a gambling facility there that started and that we had to close up because they were operating without a license, kind of expecting to just come in under the radar and do things like that. I think we have to be very careful. As we're being told as well, that there's gonna be a 36 or 38 unit area behind Rosie's, behind the old Salvation Army. It's gonna cost $1 million for each house. As I thought about it, they don't even have a view, and what are we doing to the various zoning and the various flavors of our community? And so with that, what I'd like to do is very simply say we're against this zone change. It's zone creep. What they've been doing is they've actually already been using the area as M1, number one. And the owners of Morico have the resources and the ability to do and find other areas that they can purchase and can use if that is in fact their intent. So thank you again, honorable members of MPC, for the opportunity to say something tonight. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Roddy. Is there any council members that have any questions for her? Is there anyone else who would like to give testimony? Okay, there being none, MPC members, how would you like to address this application?
As it stands now, to remind the FEC, we had a resolution last year which stated our opposition unless Gura Drive was the primary access. Unless we feel that the circumstances have changed materially, then there's no reason to change the resolution. Resolution, the mayor's asking me if we need to make a motion, but my feeling is that the resolution is already standing, and it was read earlier this year. So I don't know if we need to make yet another resolution reaffirm, because it's on the record, and we've stated our opposition before. Apparently, we need to restate our opposition.
Just wondering, with all what Dan was saying, is there going to be an update on this project, or would we need to see if if this happens, this is what we're going to do and all that stuff? Will it require for us to even see amendments to the report, or no need?
Based on what was mentioned tonight, here's how I see it. Our resolution was based upon the presentation last year. The problem was there were no records of the public hearing. So that's why we had to redo the public hearings, right? Because it wasn't on Facebook. So that's why we're doing it now. However, our resolution is still there. So what Dan was proposing tonight is that here is a compromise plan where a portion of the land is going to be, remains for the self-storage area, and then 2/3 will be residential, since the area is already zoned for R2. Okay. The mayor is telling me, or telling us, that they still need either an affirmation of the resolution or a change should that be warranted.
Okay, we have the records of the past, public hearings that we had last year. The reason for the redo was because of the live streaming. That was the one that was not available, even if the Department of Land Management personnel saw it, but we couldn't extract it, we couldn't get it back. So that's the reason why we're redoing this public hearing, so that it can go before the Land Use Commission. But I know there have been 2 applications that we have disapproved, but the Land Use Commission, the 6 members of that commission voted against our resolution. So that can still happen. That is why Mr. Swavely did mention it's still gonna go to the Land Use Commission, whether we approve it or not. So testimonies, and that's why I go out to tell people that you also need to make sure your testimony gets heard at the Land Use Commission, because they make the final decision. That's why with our senators, I've been telling you guys, we need to reach out to them to change the law on this, because the whole open government law making us change our meeting dates, because sometimes even if we put it out to be posted in the newspaper is the one that fails us when they don't post it on time. And then we can't have our meeting. We cannot discuss these things, the important issues. So, again, just to satisfy the Department of Land Management so they can move forward to their next step, the Guam Land Use Commission, we're doing this. We're redoing this public hearing. And we've had already 5, because 1 from Land Management, 2 of our MPC public hearings last year. We had 2 again today. So now we're up for the vote on how we would submit our resolution for this new redo. Should we in fact, change it again, because of the fact that our resolution says if they go through Guerrero Drive, it's okay, but if they can't, then we disapprove it. I was just informed yesterday there is property there for rent, and that was something that they can look into. Hopefully, they'll be able to acquire that property, because it's all just back to back there, from behind AK to behind, so that's that was one of their solutions, that they can look into. And then it'll be approved and they can move forward. So, but right now, with everything that's happening with EPAL Road and the new development that's coming up, I mean, they don't even want a hot dog stand. They don't want anything else until they fix the road. I live on EPAL Road too, and I feel and suffer the pains of thinking I'm gonna get out there and be back here at work in 2 minutes, when it takes forever because traffic is backed up all the way. So, there's different things that we're dealing with, but this is really important for us to approve or disapprove this application so we can move forward. Okay. Any questions?
Does that clarify anything, or is it just muddying up more?
More questions?
So notwithstanding all of that, I move to uphold the resolution that was previously made by this MPC, and that is that we oppose zone change.
Okay, there was a motion to oppose the application. Is there a second? Okay, second by Albert Membusen. Is there any discussion? There being none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, anyone opposed? None, thank you very much. Motion carries. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Okay, now moving along to our, back to our agenda, our next item B, We have the Guam Land Use Commission application number 2023-03. The applicants are Michael L. and Yanzu Z. Spencer, represented by Felix Benavente, the planner. They are requesting for a zone variance for setback for a proposed 4-unit apartment building for a side yard of 3 feet, short 7 feet of the required 10 feet side yard setback on lot 5078-2-1-3 in the municipality of Tamuning in an H Hotel Resort Zone. This is located on Maracha Street, Tumon. This is also serving as the second public hearing of this application. We have heard it last year on April 4th and April 11th, 2024. And again, because of postings, they asked us to redo it so we can move forward. And so, again, at that time, last year, when we had the Municipal Planning Council meeting after the public hearing, our meeting was held on April 11th, 2024, our 6:30 p.m. regular monthly meeting. A motion was made by our council member, Bob Perron, to support the application with the conditions that the setback of 5 feet instead of 3 feet be made and for the fence to be erected surrounding the property. That was seconded by Mike Lasisti, and all were in favor, no one opposed. Motion. And so again, the resolution was submitted to the News Commission, but we today are here to reaffirm our resolution, unless you desire to change it. And so I need another motion.
Move to uphold. Move to uphold.
Can I get a second? Dan Sensei moves. Second by Joaquin Guerrero. Any discussion? Any questions? All those in favor say aye. Does anyone oppose? Then thank you very much. Motion carries. And now we'll move along to item C, another Guam Land Use Commission application number 2025-17. This is the second public hearing notice, public meeting in regards to this. One was given by the Department of Land Management. We had one earlier today, and now we're hearing it. This is for applicants Joel M.C. Rubio and Maria Pazanet M. David, represented by Felix Benavente, the planner, who's here to present to us. This is a request for a zone change from R2 multiple dwelling zone to commercial zone to convert an existing health clinic into an architectural and engineering office on lot 2114-11 on Tun Jose Tovis Way in the municipality of Tamuning. This is a dead-end street that is behind National Office Supply. Would you like to, Mr. Benavente, present now? If you have any questions, or are you okay with what you heard from the public hearing earlier? No, okay. So, Mr. Benavente, please present to them what they'll have, or what the request is. And also joining us is the one who will be taking care of the company that's purchasing it, Mr. Joe Duenas. He's here with us today. So if we have any questions for him as well, he'll be here to answer it for us.
Instead of couple minutes, Mayor, get notes and make presentation. Let me just wake up the computer and
Do we remind you of the three officers to help themselves to the table? You're authorized to eat, according to the lieutenant officers, you guys can eat now. Don't be afraid.
Come sit with me so I can finish my food.
There's no donuts.
Cookies, homemade cookies.
What do you want?
Maybe you can just talk about it and if they have any questions.
The property is on Clovis Drive, right? I got it right. This is Marine Drive, Carlos Camacho Street, Burlington Hospital. National Office Supply is right about, the property is here in Oregon. This is Clovis Drive. So National Office Supply, there's another commercial building here, another commercial building. This is like a parking area, and this is the existing clinic. This clinic has a conditional use, it's in an R2 zone. It has a conditional use approved by the commission several years ago, and has been conducting clinic operations of Dr. Rubio and Dr. David. Again, this is the property over here, National Office Supply. So you go in here, and that's where it is. This is the zoning map. It's right at the edge of a commercial zone. This is Marine Drive in light, right? And then there's the dash line here. This is the zoning boundary line. Towards Marine Drive is commercial. The subject property is right here, zone R2. And we're requesting for a rezoning of the property from R2 to commercial. Same general property map. This is the property map. And it's a kind of like rectangular shaped lot with a little notch there. And that notch is actually the handle of this lot in the back. And this is the road, and it turns that direction. The road comes in here, turns that direction. And this is important as we proceed. It's an existing building. It's a clinic right now. So the parking is right here. This is Clovis Drive. There's a gate. Parking is right here. There's also parking right here. There's a pumping basin here. There's a percolation trenches back here for stormwater. And there's a path in the back for water coming to the property. And that was one of the conditions that Public Works wanted to include. So it's not to block the existing flow of water on the surface. The existing clinic will not be altered in any way. The exterior walls will remain the same, the property lines will remain the same. The interior of the engineering architect company is pretty much, it's not going to be that many changes. There are spaces for the architects and engineers, conference table. So this is the existing walls are there. So there's not much change to the interior. This is the existing clinic that we're requesting to be rezone. It's existing right now as a conditional use in an R2 zone. And they're requesting for it to be rezoned to commercial. Basically stretch, the commercial ends over here, basically stretch the commercial zone back there so they can operate an architect firm. And we have representatives recommended to join us. This is a view of Togus Lane, going all the way out to Marine Drive. There's the commercial building there, there's another clinic there, parking space, this is the building. And this sign is right there, just to make sure that we're at the right location. We had a public hearing before, like the mayor said. There was some conversation about flooding, and we went out there right after the hearing, and we did say that when the building was a notch, see here, this is the property line, then it goes in there, and it goes, continues to the back, and goes like that. The water path that Public Works wanted to remain unimpeded is here, inside the property. The water from the land management public hearing revealed that some of the neighbors were concerned that water comes down from this direction, that direction, and ponds here. What the owners of the property are saying is they've done everything they can that was required of them. They left this space free, and the only security fence here, they chain link fence. It's not a concrete wall. This concrete wall back here, according to the engineers, was not erected by the Rubio Davis organization. But it appears that this little neck, which is actually a panhandle, is not in control, is not in the control of the owners here. So when water comes down here, they kind of like stack dust and weeds. And so it kind of creates a little dam. So what we're saying is that the building is not the one causing the water to pond and stay here. It's this piece of land here that is not in the control of this property. They've done everything they can to keep it open. There is a chain link fence, not a wall. All the property, all the rainwater that's generated by the property is contained in this fountain basin, as well as percolation trenches in the back. So that's in compliance with EPA requirements and Public Works, that any water that drops on the land, you gotta contain it, you can't make it run away. So it's contained here from the roof of the parking lot, right here and back here. Now, the water that traditionally flows this direction is not allowed to continue to pass. But the blockage by this little mound out on the street and inside this panhandle is really not in the control of the property owner. So and that's this area back here. After the hearing this evening, we went out and took some pictures. And I just want to share with you a quick picture. See this notch I'm talking about? See these three poles? This is the front wall. And then these three poles go in towards the building and continue backward. And all this is just chain link fence. So any water that comes from the street will go right through and through that pathway in the back of the building. This wall was erected by the neighbor in the back, but there's also a wall over here. This is right over here. Now this is, where this notch is the panhandle for this lot. And I have a picture here. Just one more picture. This is, this is the street, this is total street. This is the lot on the back. This is the wall put up by this neighbor in the back. This is the panhandle. So water continues to go this way. I'm highlighting. And our position is that Dr. Rubio, multiple doctors, Dr. Rubio, Dr. David, have done their. This is like a few inches up, so when water flows in this direction, it goes here, it's kind of like blocked. And we have no control over that. In fact, this portion is right in front of me, but the road's off. So, our request is to rezone the property from R2 to commercial. Dr. and Mr. Rubio have done their due diligence in complying with the conditions of the original approval by the council, as well as the Land Commission, and the approved conditional use for the clinic. It's exactly the same building. The engineering company has asserted that there really is it's going to be less traffic, because engineers don't really have walk-ins like a clinic, where you have people parking and running and out. Engineers basically stay, one or two clients come, that's it. It's a really quiet operation. If there are any questions about that.
Yes, Leo?
Yes, Mr. Blumenthal. Can you go back to that picture when we show the flooding, please? Come on. That one.
Yeah.
I was wondering if, in your sense, you say that there's no significant, no control from the doctors. If it gets flooded there, does that present inconvenient? I mean, is the water deep? Is it passable or what?
There were pictures presented at the land master public hearing from residents of the area that showed a lot of water here.
Yeah,
They showed a lot of water. This is just today's rain. I just took this picture like 3 hours ago. This is just today's rain. When there's more rain, presumably there's more water stacking here. The more water, the more it can run through, go to the backside of the building, and just flush all the way through. But when it's this kind of, because of the surface difference, this is the road down here, and there's like an elevated piece of ground, it blocks it off. And what we're saying is that we don't control this guy. We have accommodated the water, which is the water can't reach there. We cannot,
but that doesn't block any vehicles or what to, for that area, that flooding, right?
No, the water, this is actually the curve.
Yeah.
The road goes this way.
Goes down. I'm just concerned if it is a problem, I think if it is a problem, it should be eliminated and, try to control it so that there's no bond over there. in times like now, when there's a lot of rain. It's, one more question that I have. Sure. How many employees, are going to be in the architecture firm? How many employees?
Mr. From, assistant.
So we on average have about 12 local engineers, design professionals. They work from 8 to 5, Monday through Friday. So as far as traffic goes, like Mr. Benaventi said, we don't get much public traffic or cars are moving out for the general.
So when the clinic was there, then they got more. More traffic.
I don't know, but I would assume so.
Okay, any other questions? Okay. Also, I know our Vice Mayor, is aware of the issues on that area. Like I said, that area is a dead-end street. Families, live in there, but you know, that they turned around and sold property. So now, of course, also with the flooding that's going on there, and this is happening everywhere in our community where new development, their house is higher than somebody who's been there for over 50 years and that doesn't develop on their property. So new development is higher and then all the water floods to the other property that's been there forever. So, you know, that's what we're seeing all over the community as well. New homes. It's only, we're here today because of this request to change the zone. So again, I have not heard of any opposition. I'd like to defer to my Vice Mayor, who's very much aware of this project as well.
Okay, as far as this project is concerned, it is assured by Mr. Benaventi and also Mr. Luca on the public hearing that we had here under land management. We had some individuals from the neighboring area that has houses in that area that has brought up the concerns. As far as what the building is they're gonna do to the building is really nothing. It's all gonna be inside. There's nothing that's gonna be done outside. The building is gonna stay the way it is. Now, my question that I presented before was how was that building operating under business and not being zoned as commercial started with? So I got an answer on that one there, but I'm not satisfied with that. But most of the neighboring areas there are basically my first cousins. I stay right above the hill there, right behind Nationals. So I see what their frustration is as far as flooding is concerned. Sometimes they have to park their cars up by my house and work their way down there in the puddle of water that they have to go down to. But, you know, that's, in reality, that is a concern of basically on the public works highway. It has nothing to do with what the rezoning request is for this building. As much as I disagree with it being in operation right now, and just hearing what the zone seems, it has nothing to do with that. It's under public works. So, with all that said, just make up your mind on that one. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions in regards to this application? I'd like to entertain a motion if there's any. Thank you very much. There is a motion to approve by Dan Sinside, second by Melissa Akimoto. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Is anyone opposed? No, thank you very much. Motion carries. That will now move along to new business. Any new business? Okay, there being none, I have plenty, but I'll forward it to you all first for approval, and it'll be part of the agenda on our next meeting. Also, going along now to committee reports. Anything on that? Congratulations to the Paris family. I saw that post that, I know Mr. Paris is not here with us today, but it shows that, they were granted their, the heirs of Frank Paris are getting that land returned to them, from the commission, but again, I think that they have to finalize it with the legislature. So, any issues or concerns in regards to that? Okay, finance? Environmental? Nothing at this time, okay, and, security? Those of you who are not here, Sunshine?
Happy weekend, everyone. Try to get somebody down at the carnival here.
I did. Okay, any members of the public, would you like to make any comments? Okay, no, any questions? Okay, there being none, announcements, anything to announce? Anyone?
We had a festival going on, or went on 4th of July down at the EPOC. That was a success. Again, once again, thank you very much for everybody that participated on that one. And hopefully next year we'll have a flight. This year we didn't. So hopefully next year we'll have a flight. But every year we do that with the 2917. VFW. Veterans Corridors. So every year we do that in 4th of July down in EPOC. So keep that in your radar as far as I'm not enjoying this. Thank you.
Okay, so, any other announcements? Oh, yes, joining us today is Lieutenant Gino Chafris. Thank you very much for gracing us with your presence.
Sorry, apologies to you and to the council members for my tardiness. I have other things in the precinct that I have to do, but I'm glad I'm here. And thank you, Chief, for covering for me with today. Sure. Just two announcements here. Number one is we have the concert coming up this weekend. The Williams is anticipating 2,000 people, so there's an operational plan ready for us to help to address that. And then the other thing is, I know you're aware of this, but just to tell everybody else is that we're starting with Monday on July 28th, and that will be for 10 weeks. So we will see there's an operational plan. We have a safety security meeting tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. So if anybody wants to join us down there, we'll get you to address some of the issues right now. But the roads will be closed from 6 in the morning all the way to 6 in the morning on Sunday, and then won't be open until 6 in the morning. That ran by you last time. Mr. Mobile, I believe they run that by you.
They did, and that was my concern. Because yes, it's great that they're doing this night market also, but how many people are gonna be inconvenienced because of it? Because of the road closures and stuff like that. That is a great concern that we have, and I have not sat in any meetings with GBB and the destination management the way we're supposed to be. You know, because we have a lot of residents down there as well. And so, you know, with just many different things that are happening, they're not informing us the way we should be informed. And we'd like to, you know, get it more, out there. And I'm glad you're here because, you know, even with the parking situations, the overflow, you're concerned about the assembly of 3,000 people for the concert. These other things that are happening in other places in the community, such as Duca's Beach, this specific jam that they're hosting. This is a volleyball tournament, and I love those who are here for sports and play volleyball and all that. But we have adequate facilities over at EPAL. We have had them create volleyball courts, but it's not enough for them. They want to have it at Duca's Beach, but there's no restroom facilities. There's no parking, you know, things like that. And so we're getting called all the time for all these people that are blocking people's driveways and, you know, things like that. So I'm calling you guys a lot, and I appreciate you responding to us, but you know, on making all these kinds of decisions on what to have, where to have it, and things like that, you know, who are they supposed to rely on, and with the enforcement, and even with the land use commission, you know, the things that they allow us to do on different zones and areas, you know, who ends up being the one to suffer? The people that live in that area that are gonna be blocked off. People leave their house at 4 o'clock in the morning, they go for prayer and for, you know, sunrise, you know, things like that, and it's all gonna stop because they're having a night market. Wonderful, but you know, there's people's patterns, and those are my concerns. It's for our people. You know, who else are they talking to, asking questions on if it's okay or not?
Yeah, so just so you know, Mayor, I also have experience that being the city manager. Trying to get ahead of all these events that happen, so that we can plan on our end and I've had to reach out to these other towns, to ask them, can you please include us in some of these events, right? The problem that we communicate to you is that, they totally contract these things to other advertising, marketing, right? And that's where the breakdown in communication is happening. So, it was just recently, I want to say within the past month, that they were ready for the tighten the belt on that little bit. And so they're aware, because, you know, I did bring those concerns up that, hey, you know, these are things that not just I need to know about, but also the mayor, you know, has to also be aware, right? Because this, affects the situation. So, you know, they are aware of the shortfalls, and they're trying to address that. So, you know, that's why I extended the meeting this, if anybody from the council or even your office wants to attend tomorrow, they're hosting something, so that, you know, you guys can, you know, share your concerns on that part. But I totally hear you on that, and I understand your frustration.
Not frustrated, I'm happy they're doing things, you know, we used to have to remember Fiesta Villa down there, and then now there's talk about opening a market in Harmon and open land, so it's not affecting traffic. You know, even with all the wonderful track and fields that we have, but yet they still want to have the 5K on the road and close it off, and then have the mayor's office be the ones, the staff to come and block traffic, you know, stuff like that. You know, those are all very concerning, and who gives the final approval? So a lot of times, we all these applications that are coming into our office, is we acknowledge when we are not for it, these issues of the residents that are going to be affected, we have to acknowledge that they're submitting the application into us. Doesn't mean we agree with it, because it's gonna affect and hurt others. You know, so that's where the concern is. Because I hope that they're taking into consideration what everyone is gonna have to go through, you know, with this event or activity. Again, we have, I believe this, it started today, the jam tournament that's going on down at so already the residents are, you know, already, you know, they're they're, they already feel affected, you know, how the crowd is gonna come in, and I that they were able to secure, you know, the private property, you know, for parking and stuff like that, so I don't know how much you're gonna be called in regards to that area. Okay. So any questions for Lieutenant Chopras? Anyone?
Dates in that line marking. It's gonna start on the 27th. Yeah, and then it'll be every Sunday until the 28th of September, so we have a total of 10 Sundays. And the road will be closed from 6 a.m. to 6 in the morning to Sunday morning. In between that time, vendors will be allowed to come in between 10 in the morning to 2, and then it'll be open up to the public from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m.
That's the main street.
Okay, any questions?
2:30 tomorrow. Yeah, this is gonna be a pleasure island, for those that aren't aware. So the blockage of the roadway will actually be from the Rotunda area of Outrigger, or the Lucid Beach now. The old Outrigger, where they have that Rotunda right by MPC store. So it'll be closed off from there, and then the other half is right across the sandhouse. That intersection coming out, will be closed off.
Tomorrow.
And so, my understanding is it's gonna be six in the morning on Sundays to 6 in the morning Mondays, right? That's the plan now, and we're gonna see how it works. And if there's ways for them to open it up earlier, then they're gonna do so. But they're just planning, because, about 19 vendors, 15 food trucks. Their goal is to try to attract at least 2,000 people per session. And so depending on how the layout happens and how things, you know, start, they may be able to make adjustments for the roads to open up earlier, instead of having it for 24 hours. So those are some of the stuff. Yeah, they'll be rerouted. The ones that will be allowed into that area, basically are patrons or residents. Yeah.
I don't know how, I mean, you know, behind DFS, Galleria,
Right.
you know, all the residents in there.
Yeah,
Happy
so,
Landing Road.
yeah, so all of the inconvenience part there will be the residents having to come out Monday morning. And if the road is not open yet, you know, like you were saying earlier, like, when you look at 2,000, the road may still be shut down, you'll have to, instead of, you know, going, taking a left, to go down to one strip, you know, to go on to Santa Seal and Route 1, and then, you know, go around. Let's just say that they work at, you know, down the street. That's gonna be the downfall to the so I can see how it's gonna, you know, affect those that live in that area. But, in those discussions, this is just a planning phase, so they may, you know, close it, or open it up earlier. If they're able to clean up again, all that debris and all that other stuff that happens. During the lockdowns.
Okay, thank you.
Right.
Okay, any questions, anything else? Okay, there being none, our last announcement is our next meeting again is scheduled for August 7th, 2023, so,
2025.
Sorry.
Yeah, she's going back.
We're back to the first Thursday of the month.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay. Motion to adjourn by Tony Chopras, second by Mike Missisky. Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. And goodbye. Thank you, everyone. The time is now 7.
I'd like to refill this.
Take up. How do we end it?
Oh, right there.
Tell Mayor that Paris Donuts was calling her.